So anyway, today we're going to be talking about fear, and I realized I hadn't ever. Yeah, it's definitely tougher, I think, for the long side right now. Well, we'll get into it. But anyway, today I want to talk about fear, and I realized that I didn't. I was like, no way, I haven't done an episode, a webinar on fear, and so this is kind of a point two webinar. Just so I can point to it. But there's definitely going to be some stuff that I think everyone needs to hear right now. And this one, I'm hoping is going to be one of the, I always hope that every time I make a webinar, it'll be one of someone's favorites. So I'm hoping that's the case. All right, let's get going. All right, so fear. If everyone has never seen the terminal, this is an amazing. Fear. It's so good. Ah, I love that scene. Fear. Shit, I meant to. Okay. All right. So today we'll be going over the market sentiment. Then we'll do that risk target and entries bit that I like to do, where we go over the movers of the week and kind of see, what opportunities were available, what should have been avoided, all that stuff. We'll kind of recap that. That'll be like a 15-20 minute piece. Then we'll be talking about fear and Q&A anytime during the webinar. I'll try to get to it. Let's not go to waste. Oh yeah. If you're just watching this on repeat, if you watch my webinar on hesitation first, that would be probably helpful for you before you watch this one, because I go over a lot of stuff that I touch up on here. And so also that one's one of my favorites because I put Dragon Ball Z stuff in there. So you better watch that one, because that's one of my favorites. All right, so this week kind of blew for longs. Just like, not to sugarcoat it, it just wasn't that great. And there's opportunity there, and it really depends on what kind of trader you are. If you're like a channel kind of trader where you just like the long dips, blah 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 and stuff, your market's going to be there all year round. That smaller basis stuff, you can always get dips and pops on stuff. But as far as which ones of the traders that like shorts to win or longs to win, this week definitely shorts won. And that's how you know that it's kind of like a weaker long market, right? When first bounces turn into a channel, that means that we popped up, we formed a low, which is normal, we bounced, and we didn't break a new high, right? That's what happens, right? Like long trades turn into channel trades when it's a weaker market, right? And so that's something that a lot of you guys can, maybe, kind of adapt a little bit. Or use as an adapting. If you guys always have what's the word I'm looking for? A system of taking half profit at that kind of high-ish area where the first bounce is, which I always recommend everybody do. If it blocks out, you can re-put those shares on, and essentially you'll be trading just like Bao does on the long side, right? Now, keyword of caution. Normally on channel trades, when you channel trade, your profits can all be given back if the stock ends up picking a direction and you're left with a full size position when it picks that wrong direction for you. You're going to end up giving every single one of your channel scalps back, like so easily. Like you channel scalp, sell half, buy half, sell half, buy half, sell half, and then the stock tanks. You'll get back everything if you have full size when it tanks. So the longer a channel goes on, especially on the long side, word of caution, you want to be downsized. If someone wants to post that link right before I can get to it. You want to be downsized. Yeah. Okay. And so this was on my radar for a long. It just couldn't. It was just kind of boring. I don't know. I just wasn't really feeling it. But yeah, let's see. What levels do we have to play off of? As far as a short seller, so as a short seller, you're praying it gets up here, right? Into this kind of like This kind of low-hanging fruit failed the other day or yesterday. So anyway, I mean, obviously you have resistance here at 950 kind of stuff. There's obviously a resistance level right there at 940. You can count 9. So this is where you want your short. Now, as far as a long, the context of the situation is that, we're kind of, yesterday we gapped up, we pushed, and we kind of held, we held on. And so as far as a long, I was looking for I was like, oh, if we can reclaim 8, then, if we can hold 8 as support, then maybe we can get a long out of it. So the thing is though, that that's why I didn't take this trade, because I was like, oh, but it's not like we have resistance here at 9. So I was like, what if let's say I don't get 8 and it pops up to 850 and I have to get an 825 dip, and then then there's going to be resistance at 870 or something kind of. I didn't see the target in mind. I couldn't see that blow off the top target, and so I just kind of lost interest for it. But those are my ideas for it. Was that if we can somehow claim 8, we might get a move, but also that 940 was a level 2. And so I mean, if you look at the chart, that's kind of what happens. We fail out of the open. I don't think that there's any long, unless you have some reason, right? Unless you have some fundamental reason why you think that the stock's going to push today, then you start to dip, but that requires a fundamental thesis. I didn't have one. There's a technical thesis here that you could buy off here. This is kind of hindsight to buy here at 750. I think that the long trade here is right here. We kind of push on 8. You can kind of get into this dip or that dip. Oh, look, it even has an 820 dip too. Even has this little 820 dip here. So the long spots that I see on this kind of chart, if you're early on the idea and if you had the idea that we could push to 9 today, then you can get this dip. Otherwise, I think this and these two are your money dips as far as longs are concerned. This is where you can get a piece of the pie. As far as a short, you're waiting all the way for 9. There's none of this. You don't short this on a, you don't short something like this when we're reclaiming 8 and prior close. You have to take this into consideration. And let's not cheat. We'll look here. When you're reclaiming 8 and stuff, this is not a short. You don't short into this higher day here when we just kind of reclaim VWAP 8 and prior close, right? You put all these together, and this is not a safe short. So as a short, you're waiting all the way for 9.